So this team started in 2011, in November 2011, shortly before the 2011 NABA draft, which is considered to be one of the most talented draft pools in NABA history. And then fast forward to February 2012, where the Firecrackers played their very first game against the Chicago Cougars. The Firecrackers would win that game 102 to 100. And fast forward to right now, the Firecrackers are arguably one of the most successful teams in the NABA today. Again, they have won a slew of championships and have broke numerous records, just like the Golden State Warriors. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. The question is, are the Firecrackers the NABA's most beloved or most hated team? Well, let's find out. Again, of course, the Firecrackers' dominance in the league goes back to 2014, when they won 72 games. At the time, the Firecrackers became the second basketball team to reach 70 or more wins, joining the 1995 to 1996 Chicago Bulls. In the playoffs, they tore through the Eastern Conference. On their way to the NABA Finals, only to lose in 7 games to the Houston Timberwolves after being up 3-2. And then fast forward to 2015, the Firecrackers would win 4 more games to be 76-6. And once again, after breathing through the playoffs and reaching the NABA Finals, of course, they would have a 2-0 lead and would then lose the next 4 games and the series to the Grinders. In 2016, however, that's when everything changed. In 2016, in the 2016 season, the Firecrackers opened with a 25-game winning streak, which at the time was the longest NABA winning streak in NABA history. At this point, ever since holding that 25-game winning streak, the Firecrackers never looked back. They would eventually go on to winning all 82 of the regular season games, something that no NABA team has done before in history. And of course, like in 2014 and 2015, they would breeze through the playoffs, sweeping the Orlando Magic in the first round, defeating the Columbia Satellites in 5 games in the second round, and coming back from a 2-0 deficit to defeat the Cleveland Warriors in the Eastern Conference Finals. And then they would once again reach the NBA Finals, where they once again met their rivals, the Windy City Grinders. This time, after holding a 2-0 lead, and once again they would hold a 2-0 lead. Then in Game 3, it was looking like it was gonna be in 2015, with the Grinders holding a 28-point lead late in the second quarter. In the second half, however, the Firecrackers would pull off this ultimate comeback and win 112 to 1 and win 121 to 112. 123 to 114 to be exact. Of course, this is one of the greatest. This is no doubt one of the biggest comebacks in NABA Finals history, coming back from a 28-point deficit, of course. But of course, the biggest comeback in NABA history was when the then Windy City Firecrackers came back from a 33-point deficit against the Brooklyn Legends in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Semifinals in 2018. And ever since winning the championship in 2016, the Firecrackers have the Firecrackers have never looked back. And right now, this is putting a lot of the other NABL teams in question, because many teams were like, when will the Firecrackers stop reaching? Firecrackers finally be defeated before the finals, or when will the Firecrackers lose in the finals? Of course, that's the question many other NABL teams have been asking over the years since 2016. Because right now, the Firecrackers are becoming just like the Golden State Warriors, as I said earlier. Because once again, they have won multiple championships, broke a numerous amount of records, both team and individually. So, right now, I don't know if right now, in my opinion, the Firecrackers are becoming one of the most beloved teams in the league, because they said ever since their last defeat in 2019, in 2019, their goal was in 2020 to do the same thing that the Boston Celtics did from 1959 to 1966, and the Windy City Grinders from 1984 to 1991, and that is winning 8 straight championships. I mean, I don't know. I simply believe the Firecrackers can do something like this. Again, the problem is, however, of course, this will put the other teams in the question. Because I don't think the Boston Celtics ruined the NBA when winning 8 straight championships from 59 to 66, and neither did the Grinders from 1984 to 1991. Because right now the Grinders have the record for the most championships won with 9. While in the NBA, of course, the Boston Celtics and the Los Angeles Lakers are tied for the most championships won with 17, when the Lakers won their 17th championship in 2020 during the NBA bubble due to, of course, the COVID-19 pandemic. So on the other side, however, the Firecrackers have become the NABL's one of the most hated teams. To put it in further retrospective, in Game 3 of the 2017 Eastern Conference Finals, where the Firecrackers faced the Cleveland Warriors at the Quicken Loans Arena, which is now known as the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Again, one Warriors fan, again angrily walked out of the Quicken Loans Arena after the Firecrackers were defeated. Because yes, he knew that the Firecrackers were gonna defeat it after one of their superstars hit a clutch 3-point shot, and which the Warriors called a timeout thereafter. Of course, the Warriors ended up getting swept by the Firecrackers, and that's because the Firecrackers wanted to avenge their regular season defeats to the Warriors. And because, of course, in the regular season, the Firecrackers lost all 4 regular season games against the Warriors. Little did they know that in 2017, the Firecrackers won 7 games, just seven wins short from matching their 82 wins from the previous year. Besides losing to the Warriors, they also lost to the Houston Timberwolves, the Chicago Cougars, and the Philadelphia Lightning. The 3 games that they lost, they were all close, as well as the 2 of the 4 games of the Warriors against the Warriors. And those 2 games against the Warriors that were close, those games were at the UIC Pavilion in Chicago. In Quicken Loans Arena, however, the Warriors won those games in a blowout. That's probably why in the Eastern Conference Finals the Firecrackers returned the favor. And swept the Warriors back. It's eventually the Firecrackers went through the entire 2017 postseason without losing a single game in the postseason. Of course, sweeping the Miami Rockets in the first round, the Columbia Satellites in the conference semifinals, the Cleveland Warriors in the Eastern Conference Finals, and of course the Chicago Cougars in the NABA Finals. They wanted to do the same thing in 2018, but however, and ended up losing only one game, and that only game they lost was Game 4 of the 2018 Eastern Conference first round against the Toronto Swashbucklers. And then in 2019, at this point, the Firecrackers started to become one of the most hated teams in the league. In the league from 2017 to 2018, most notably in 2018 after Derek Insett chose to return to the Firecrackers in 2017. Similar to how LeBron James made his decision to return to the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2014. And then in 2019, the hates were finally subdued when the Firecrackers finally lost in the Eastern Conference Finals to the Cleveland Warriors in 6 games. The Warriors would eventually go on to win the championship after sweeping the Oklahoma City Electric. And of course this is because the Warriors decided to return the favor, but again for the Cleveland Cavaliers, losing going 19-63 in 2018 and 2019. At that time, the Cavaliers' 19-63 record was the second worst record in the Eastern Conference and the third worst record in the NBA. And now, ever since relocating to Cleveland, Ohio in 2019, again the Warriors have not. The Firecrackers, under any circumstances, have never lost the NABA Finals. Of course, they have won in 2020 and 2021 against the Portland Searchlights, and in 2022 and 2023 against the Memphis Yellow Jackets. At the time, the Searchlights and the Yellow Jackets were one of the NABA's most surprising teams in the league, teams in those seasons. So yeah, once again, the Firecrackers' goal is to be. The Firecrackers said that their goal is to do this, is to win 8 straight championships. Again, which is what the Boston Celtics did from 1959 to 1966, and the Windy City Grinders from 1984 to 1991, before finally being dethroned in 1992 by the Chicago Warriors, who coincidentally had the same colors as Marge Simpson from The Simpsons. Of course, we all know those colors: light green, blue, yellow, and orange. Because actually the Chicago Warriors debuted those colors in 1988, a year before The Simpsons premiered. Because at the time trust me, once again, at the time, The Simpsons were a series of animated shorts on the Tracy Ullman Show. Anyways, back to basketball. So right now, as of April Fool's Day 2024, the Firecrackers have 7 championships. Of course, winning their first 3-peat from 2016 to 2018, and then 4 straight from 2020 to 2023. And that's all, folks. It says, let me know in the comments if you think that the Firecrackers are the most beloved team or the most hated team in the NABA. Anyways, this is Reise signing out.